everybody. How's it going? This is Mr. Bonon here with another math lesson. Ready to give you what you want. This is what I cooked up. So, today, our objective is to find missing dimensions on a square or rectangle and then be able to find the area. Now, previously, we were able to look at rectangles, split those rectangles into smaller rectangles, make multiplication equations out of that, and combine those rectangles together to find the area. It's very similar to the distributive property, where we would break apart a rectangle, an array, and then we would combine them together to find the area. So let's look at what I have here. I have an entire rectangle that out. Let me go to my drawing tool. Maybe that'll be a little bit helpful. Let me highlight it. I'll highlight it in green. So this entire outline, you can see that it is basically a rectangle. And we want to find the missing dimensions. So that means we want to find how long each side is on the outside of it, the perimeter. We want to find out how long each side is. We already know what this side is. We have a 2 inches that represents this white side. And let me erase this highlighted part. So let me make it a little bit thicker. 2 inches is the length of this side of the white rectangle. 4 inches, I'll do it a different color. 4 inches represents the length of one of the sides of the orange rectangle, and 2 inches represents the side of that yellow rectangle. All right, and we know that this other side of the yellow rectangle is 5 inches. However, we don't know how long this side of the blue rectangle is, or this side. So we don't know this right side or the bottom length. We need to find that out. And we definitely can, because we have a lot of other information that can help us out. We also know that this top part of the white rectangle is 11 inches long, which is very helpful. Now, we had to find the missing dimensions. We can just see with our eyes what some of these missing dimensions might be. This white rectangle, we know that this opposite side would be 11. So I'm going to put an 11 right there. And also, on the opposite side of this 2, this side has to be the same length. So it is 2 inches. So we know that. But now we have to figure out what this side of the blue rectangle is. How can we figure that out? Pause the video and think about what other information on this rectangle could help us figure out what length this is. Resume the video once you give it a try. All right. So if you notice, this part right here is 2 inches. This part right here is 2 inches. But if you even analyze it a little bit closer, this whole entire side has to be equal to this entire side. Now, we already had the 2 inches, and this was 4 inches, and this was 2 inches. That means that this 4 and 2 inches has to be the same length over here of that blue rectangle. So 4 plus 2 equals 6. So this would be a 6. And you know what? Let's just double check. Because this entire side was 2 inches plus 4 inches plus 2 inches. 2 plus 4 is 6. And then 6 plus 2 is 8. And if we go to the opposite side over here, 2 inches plus 6 inches is 8 inches. So boom, we found the entire dimension of that blue side. Now we have to find the dimension or the missing number, the missing length of this blue side. Pause the video and see what information could help you find out what is this missing length. We know that this side of the yellow rectangle is 5 inches, but let me switch the color. What about this side of the blue? Pause the video, look at what information is on a rectangle, and resume once you've given it your best try. How many inches should that be? All right. I hope you paused the video. I hope you took your best guess because now I'm going to go over it. So, if this entire side is 5, I should do that a different color. If this entire side is 5 inches, that means that up here this would be 5 inches. So if this is 5 inches, but we know that this entire side is 11 inches, how many more inches to make that full 11 inches? Well, I could count up from 5 to 11. 5 plus something equals 11. Or I could do 11 minus 5. Yep, and that would be 6. So this area right here would be 6. So that means down here, that missing length has to be 6. Now, I know this is a lot, but this definitely helps us out. All right? And what I'm going to do, because we found the length for each one of these, each dimension that was missing. We know this is a 2 times 5. We know that this is a 4 times 5. And I'll write it on the inside. But I'll write the equations over here. I'm just going to write letters in them so then we can match them up. Let's say this is A. Let's say this is B. Let's say this is C. And let's say this is D. That's all we have. There's no E and F. So I'll delete those so you don't get a little bit confused. So I'll delete these 2 rows. I'll get them out of there. All right. So A would be 2 times 11. So over here, I'm going to type 2 times 11, which equals 22 inches. Let's look at B. What do you think B would be as an equation? Yep. 4 times 5. Because this side right here is 5. So I'm going to type 4 times 5. And that equals 20. Oops. I don't know why that turned into that. 20 inches. Boom. Now, let's look at rectangle C. What do you think would be a multiplication equation to match rectangle C? Rectangle C. Cool. We have 2 as the length, and we have 5 inches as the width. So I'm going to put 2 times 5, and that equals 10 inches. Boom. And our last rectangle will be rectangle D, which is in blue. Now, when I look at that, what do my sides look like? What's my length and what's my width? All right. So my length is 6 inches, and my width, how tall it is 6 inches also. I know it doesn't really look like a square, but that's just an example that's going on here. So that would be 6 times 6. 6 times 6. You can pause the video real quick and try to figure that out. Resume it when you have it. 6 times 6 equals 36 inches. Perfect. So we found the area for each of these rectangles. But how could I figure out what the area is of the entire rectangle? So all of these combined together. All of those combined together. Yep. So what I could do is add the area of each rectangle together to figure out the area of all of them combined. So I will do 22 plus 20 plus 10 plus 36. Boom. Check it. This is what I'm going to do first. 22 plus 20. That is 42. 0 ones, 2 ones equals 2 ones. 2 tens plus 2 tens equals 4 tens, which is 40. I use the 22 and I use the 20, so I'm crossing them out. Next, what I'll do is I will add the 10 and 36. That is 46. So I use the 10, I cross that out, and I use the 36 and crossing that out. So all I have to add left is 42 plus 46. 6 ones plus 2 ones equals 8. 8 ones. And 4 tens plus 4 tens equals 8 tens. So I cross out the 42, cross out the 46. So my answer is 88. But hold on. We're finding an area. So it's 88 square. And since we're talking about inches, it would be square inches. Now I can put the crown on it. Perfect. So after all this hard work, the area of this entire rectangle will be 88 square inches. I know that was a lot, but I know that you worked through it too. So this was an excellent job. We found the missing dimensions, the missing lengths. Then we found the area of each rectangle. We added up the area of each rectangle to find out the area of all of those rectangles combined together. Excellent work. Great job. This is Mr. Bonhomme, and I hope to see you next time. Later.